Hey, what is going on, guys? My name is Zach, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about subjects. So finding a subject in your photo can be really tough, and it's something that I personally have struggled with a lot in the past, and it's something that I know a lot of people struggle with just in photography in general. So before we really get into it, I just wanted to talk about what a subject is and kind of explain what I'm talking about. So your subject can really be anything that you want to focus your photo on. It usually takes place in the foreground, and it's really what draws the viewer's attention to the photo. So typically in landscape photography, which is what I usually shoot, it can give more context to the photo and it can tell a deeper story. So this can be a person, a car, just really anything that you want to highlight in your photo. And before I really get into it, I just want to say I do really think photography is all up to the photographer. And as a photographer, you really should just kind of do whatever you want to highlight in your photo, however you want it to look. It's really up to you. So I pretty much figured I'd just make this video to maybe give you some ideas, and any newcomers, hopefully give them some inspiration to use as they continue shooting. And if you still don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to show you some examples of my photos that I think would look a lot better if they just had that extra subject in them. First, we're going to look at two different photos that I've taken. This photo has a lot of good elements. It has very nice sun rays going through it. The rocks are very clear and everything, but I feel like it has something missing. You have no real context for the picture. So here's another example. Now this photo, when you first look at it, you don't immediately understand what it is. So it's a photo of some sand dunes looking down from a drone's perspective above. And at first glance, you might not get that. So a great way to make the viewer understand that is to add one of these elements. And that's pretty much what I'm talking about, is just adding a little bit more to your photo to make the viewer understand it a little better. I was out of focus a little bit. Anyway, let's talk about the different types of elements you can actually add to your photos to really enhance them. Personally, something I've been trying to incorporate a lot is people, just because everyone knows the average size of a person and can relate to that. And so when you compare that person to a waterfall or an arch or a mountain or something like that, they can understand the photo better. My computer is screaming at me. Let's compare the old photos that I just showed you to some different ones that have these particular elements in them. So again, we'll look at the arch, but now let's see what it looks like with a human element in it. So it's just a little bit different of a perspective. I took these photos within like 2 minutes of each other. But now we have a person element, and that really shows just how massive these rocks are. And it just gives them a whole nother element to look at. And let's take a look at the sand dunes too. So here's one with people in it. There's 4 or 5 people in it, but now you kind of understand the photo a little better. You get a more clear understanding of what you're actually looking at. Now let's take a look at a photo that is very similar to the sand dunes one, where if it didn't have that person element, it really wouldn't make sense at all. This is probably my favorite photo that my brother has ever posted because of this. So as you can see, it's of stairs in Iceland in the Highlands, and it looks crazy. But without that human element, it wouldn't make as much sense, because your eye is drawn to the person, because your brain is trying to make sense of the photo. And so I think that human element really adds a ton of context to this photo, and that's why I like it so much. Another really good way to emphasize these are with leading lines. Roads are a great example of leading lines, and they're super easy to use, and you really don't have to do much thinking when snapping the actual photo. So here's another great example of that. The leading lines are used really good in this photo, and you can even tell that this would be a really good photo even if the skateboarder wasn't there. But that added element of using the person, again, really just gives the photo more emphasis. We'll look at a few more examples. Like here's another one. It would be a really good photo, but adding the person gives it more detail. I'm just gonna keep repeating myself over and over again until you understand this. But yeah, I mean, like, I think you get the idea. So just those little hidden elements in photos really can enhance them, and I think that's something not a lot of people do. I think people should do more of it, because it's definitely something that I don't do enough of. But just giving context to your photos are huge, and subjects are just really important when doing that, and they help so much. So with that, keep shooting. Maybe try this out a little bit. It really emphasizes your photos and it really gives them that extra level. Hopefully it'll maybe make it more likely for someone to click on your photo when they're scrolling through Instagram. I guess you scroll this way now though. So stupid. But anyway, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you at least learned something. Hopefully take something away from it, or at least give you some ideas of some stuff to shoot in the future. So I will see you in the next video. I hope you guys enjoy your day. Later.